Welcome to the Language Alchemy Podcast, and thank you for joining me today. This is your host, Alejandra Siroka, a transformative communication teacher and coach who is devoted to helping multicultural individuals, change makers, and couples engaged in personal growth transform their lives and relationships through conscious communication. Happy New Year! Whether you are listening to this episode on January 1st or some other time in January or in the new year, I'm wishing you a year of healthy and meaningful relationships with all the important people in your life. Healthy relationships are so important that I like to start the year offering you tried and tested tools for you to have your dream healthy relationships in the new year. One of these tools comes as an invitation to the Healthy Relationship Vision Workshop, your 2025 roadmap for authentic connection. This is a 3-hour workshop you can attend from the comfort of your home. And this is not a regular intention-setting New Year's workshop. This is an interactive workshop in which you will connect with your deepest relational values. You will understand your non-negotiable terms of engagement, and you will design your unique roadmap for authentic connection. Join me in this workshop and create your healthy relationship vision within a circle of like-hearted participants who are also seeking meaningful relationships. I only teach this workshop once a year, so join me on January 5th for this transformative journey. You can visit languagealchemy.com/vision to learn more and sign up. And now let's talk about today's topic, which is how to build and maintain healthy relationships, something we all long for, and yet sometimes it feels like just an abstract concept. Whether you are struggling with difficult conversations with your loved ones, longing for deeper connection with your partner or a particular friend, or simply wanting to transform your relationships, this episode will give you 4 practical insights. Let's begin. You know that moment when you are lying awake at night, replaying a conversation in your head, hoping you had said something different? I think we've all been there. In fact, let me share a story about a dear client I supported. Let's call them Kai. Kai and their partner Lynn were caught in a pattern that many couples experience. While they did talk with one another on a daily basis, most of what they would have is what I call surface level conversations about the day. Who was going to take care of this or that? They would talk about their schedules or who was going to take the dog for a walk or discuss household chores and social events. And you may think, well, on the surface, the relationship seems okay. And surface is the key word here, because the only thing they discussed was surface stuff, and they were losing their sense of meaningful connection. Little by little, they became unable to talk about what truly mattered to them. Underneath that surface, there was an ocean of unspoken feelings of frustration, hurt, resentment. Kai got to the point of believing that they didn't matter to Lynn. In addition, there were so many needs each of them had that had gone silent that they didn't know how to bring them up anymore. And while it's useful to talk about planning and task distributions, if you want to have a healthy relationship with the closest people in your life, you have to, number one, learn to reveal what's in your heart. You need to be able to share your feelings, your values, your wishes, and your needs. That is to say, you need to be able to reveal your inner experience. And this is not just limited to romantic relationships. No, the same applies to other kinds of close relationships. If you want to have a healthy relationship with a dear family member or a friend, you also need to be able to communicate about your inner experience. That which is not visible to others and may not be obvious to the people around you. In fact, it isn't obvious. And if you're someone who thinks, well, if they love me, if they care about me, then they should know what I feel, what I value, what I need, what I wish for. Well, then you are heading towards the land of unhealthy relationships. Part of your responsibility as a conscious, capable, and mature adult is to recognize that while others love you and know a lot about you, they cannot read your mind or your heart. If you want to have healthy relationships, you need to be able to be direct and explicit about your inner experience. Insight number 2, which is related to the first insight, is that healthy relationships rest on the foundation of 2 core relational values: safety and connection. To be able to share your inner experience with someone else, you need to feel safe to talk about it. And you need to experience a deeper sense of connection after you have revealed your inner experience. When I talk about feeling safe here, I'm not suggesting that you need to feel physically safe. Although, of course, if you want to build a healthy relationship with someone, you don't feel physically unsafe by being with them, or else that would be a major issue. I will talk more about these 2 core relational values, safety and connection, in the next podcast episode. But for now, what I will say is that if you feel that you will get in trouble, that you will be made fun of, chastised, shamed, or criticized for sharing your inner experience, then it is obvious that you will not feel safe revealing it to the other person. Or if every time you talk about your feelings, your values, or your wishes, the other person is on the phone and they're half listening, it will not feel connecting to share what's in your heart and mind. So why bother, right? And well, what I'm describing here is what the other person is doing when you are sharing something important about yourself. If you want to have a healthy relationship, then you need to be able to claim the space for these 2 core relational values in all your important relationships. Yes, you need to be able to set healthy boundaries and describe which terms of engagement work for you and which do not. And you need to communicate them without blaming the other. So instead of saying something like, you always criticize me when I tell you about how I feel about my work, you need to say something such as, I like to tell you about how I feel about work, and I would love to hear an acknowledgement of my feelings. You don't have to agree with my feelings. I just want to know that you understand what my feelings are about work right now. Or, for example, instead of saying something such as, you never listen to me, you care more about your phone than you care about me. Instead of saying that, you can learn to say something like, when you're on your phone during your conversations, I feel distant from you. I would love to feel more connected. Are you willing to put your phone in the other room so that we can have an uninterrupted conversation? Because I would love to share something that's really important to me. So with these 2 examples, you are able to shift from feeling unsafe and not trusting the connection between you and the other person to claiming your need for these 2 universal core relational values of safety and connection. And once you learn to communicate in ways that promote safety and connection, you will have done your part to be able to share about your inner experience and have a healthy relationship. Insight number 3, there is no healthy relationship without healthy boundaries. I will say it again. There is no healthy relationship without healthy boundaries. I'm saying this twice because this is so important and so many people do not know about this. This is so important that I will record a whole podcast episode about healthy boundaries. I'll do that later in the year. For now, it's important for you to know that when we were babies, we had no boundaries with our caregivers, in the sense that if our caregiver was our mother, there was a time in which we truly thought, believed, and experienced that we were one and the same being. But as we grow and develop, we go through a process called individuation in psychology. This is a healthy process by which we realize that we are connected to others, but we are ourselves. We are not the same one person. Individuation helps us understand what works for us and what doesn't. In communication, this is about our ability to express healthy boundaries out loud. If you don't know how to talk about which terms of engagement work for you and which don't, if you are unable to express your non negotiable and most important boundaries, then the other person will not know which relational behaviors are welcomed by you because they will contribute to your well being, and which relational behaviors are unwelcome by you because they may elicit discomfort, pain, or frustration in you. So, for example, let's say that you feel anxious about getting late to places. If you are going somewhere with a friend, then you need to be able to establish that healthy boundary in advance and say something such as, I get anxious if I arrive late to events. And I'm so excited we are going to go to this event together. Will you support me by picking me up at 5:30 sharp to make sure we get there on time and spare me the anxiety? See, by communicating that, you have expressed your healthy boundary. Healthy boundaries are foundational in any kind of healthy relationship, including in the workplace, where relationships can be particularly challenging. I remember a coaching client, let's call her Sarah, who struggled with a colleague who seemed to steamroll over her in every meeting. Instead of retreating or becoming confrontational, which was what Sarah used to do, we worked on communicating healthy boundaries with her coworker. Sarah learned to express herself clearly and say things such as, I value your expertise and I also need space to share my perspective. Can we agree on a way to ensure both our voices are heard? This direct and respectful approach not only improved their working relationship, but it actually inspired others in their team to communicate more authentically and also set healthy boundaries with that same coworker. Insight number 4. If you want to have healthy relationships, you need to be able to give others what you ask for. This means that you need to learn to communicate in ways that can create a safe and connected space for the other person to be able to reveal their inner experience with you. This also means that you need to be aware of how you are communicating. Are you able to listen with presence when others talk to you? Are you acknowledging their experience without judging them, minimizing their experience, or getting distracted? And the same goes for healthy boundaries. Are you able to respect others' boundaries? So if a colleague tells you that they need more time to think about something, do you give them that time or do you push them to give you an answer and therefore not respect their boundary? If you want to be able to have healthy relationship with others, going beyond the surface, being able to reveal your inner experience, feeling a sense of safety and connection, and expressing healthy boundaries directly need to be equally available to you and the other person in the relationship. And as you are listening to this episode, if you know that you have these 4 foundational aspects in your relationships, then congratulations, you have built healthy relationships. Keep going. Keep maintaining the healthy condition of your relationships. And if you now recognize that you need to learn how to build and maintain healthy relationships, congratulations to you too. Because having healthy relationships in your life is one of the most important things you can do to contribute to your personal, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual well being. Not to mention the incredible benefits you are bringing to everybody in relationship with you. And now let's recap what you've heard in this episode. Today, I shared several examples to highlight the 4 essential ingredients of healthy relationships, which are number 1, authentic conscious communication. This means moving beyond the surface to share what's really alive in your heart and mind. Number 2, noticing if you are fulfilling the 2 universal core relational values of safety and connection. Number 3, your ability to set healthy boundaries and learning to communicate them directly. This refers to clear terms of engagement. Finally, number 4, the ability to give to all your relationships the same healthy gifts you ask for. The space for others to express their inner experience, the gift of connection through listening with presence, and the ability to honor their healthy boundaries when they set them with you. If these words resonate in your heart, if you are longing for deeper, more meaningful connections, then I want to invite you to join me for a special workshop, the Healthy Relationships Vision Workshop, your 2025 roadmap for authentic connection. This is going to be a 3-hour gathering in which you will discover the exact communication tools you need to transform surface level connections into deep, meaningful relationships. You're also going to learn how to express your feelings and needs in ways that create understanding, not distance. And you are going to create your personal vision for healthy relationships that will align with your deepest values. Join me on January 5th, 2025 for this transformative journey. You can register at languagealchemy.com/vision. I will add that link in the show notes. Once again, Happy New Year. Thank you for starting the year with me. Until next episode, and as we say in Argentina, ciao ciao. Original music by Gary Lapo. You can find all links in the show notes at languagealchemy.com.